All right, take two. Hello, everybody, um, and welcome to, gosh, I cannot multitask. I'm going live on Instagram. Now we're live on Instagram. Okay.
Yay!
We did it. This is amazing.
We did it.
Um, uh, okay. Now somehow something weird is happening with YouTube. All right. What else is possible?
What else is possible? And I'm sure it will. We'll figure it all out.
Oh, dang it. We deleted the wrong stream. Oh, well. We will upload it to YouTube later. um, so, anyway, after all the technical stuff, we are here. Me and my beautiful friend Desiree Dumont are here to chat about business and creation and really just like we did a business done different class a month ago, or no, gosh, 2 months ago at this point at Desi's house. That was so phenomenal and so powerful and yeah, you had so much. I just wanted to open it up and let you talk about it because you had so much to say about it and so much change that happened in your world and um, it was, yeah. Take it away.
well, just as you like noted that it's 2 months ago, I just had like a wave of goosebumps of how much like how much change I've welcomed and how much has been accomplished and moved and shifted in only 2 months that feels like 2 years of work. So I'm just gonna start
That's
with that.
amazing.
Like, really, that was only like in one way, whenever we have these amazing classes and stuff, it's like, wow, that, but if you, that seems like it was just a few weeks ago. But it
Yeah,
actually, if I acknowledge how much has occurred in the business of my life since that class, I would say it's what normally I would have thought would take 2 years or a little more to change or choose.
that is amazing.
Yeah. And I want to go first, like just with like my businesses. So so let me just go into the class, what it was like to have a 3 day, is it 3 days, 2.5 days, something like that. 3 days? I
Three
don't remember.
days.
Yeah.
3 days. Yeah.
3 days of like an intensive space to have the conversations and the questions with you, who is very different in the way you create your life in all aspects. You are an amazing facilitation. You're a facilitation just in being there, and you're a brilliant facilitator to the questions and things that come up. And one of the
Thank
things
you.
that you be um, that I saw many years ago. You've been playing with these tools longer than I have, and yet I've been around now for a while. But
Yeah.
you were an
Yeah.
inspiration to me because I saw you. You've always been one of these people who is very present in like the short term stuff that you're finagling, well, really present with what it's creating in a longer term at the same time. You're always like here and now and boom, boom, boom in the future.
Mm.
And I always was like, you had it from a different space as a parent, as a business lady. I was like, wow, that, like most people would be going nuts right now. And she's like, bum, 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 bum. Like, I'm here, I'm there, I'm I'm in the present and I'm in the future and I'm in the present and I'm in the future. And then over the years, like watching you relax into that more. And that's
Mm.
really what you be as a BDD facilitator. And I loved having the opportunity to have those days to be so present with a lot of the short-term stuff that was like daunting and overwhelming, and allow myself to get so present with it that I started to actually make choices instead of thinking. And then
Wow.
yeah, like, so I'll just slow that down for a minute, because one of the things we do is we think we're making choices, but we're just thinking. And in the class, it's like I'm gonna not be thinking and doing. I'm gonna be here and I allow the choices to be made. both the
Yeah.
short term and the long term. That's a lot already.
Well,
Oh,
let's highlight that, like allowing choices to be made and making choices instead of thinking. And that's a universe right there. That is really business done different, I would say. That is like Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has taught, I think, so many of us about that. And that's really a lot of where the Joy of Business came from, and Business Done Different. So, Joy of Business being a specialty area in Access Consciousness, and Business Done Different being, I would say, like, I always call it like a creation masterclass, you know? So, it's like this class that, it like really gives you this huge lay of the land of creative, energetic, pragmatic tools for creation, not just in what we think of as business, but like your whole life.
yeah.
And it came from this way that Gary functions, which is so much about choosing rather than thinking, and using choice as a tool that creates awareness, because in this reality, business is done like in the world that we know it, how everybody thinks it's supposed to be done. It's done from, this is what I want to create. It's kind of, everything is flipped backwards. So it's like, now I need to figure out how to get there,
Yeah.
and I'm going to like lay my plans and think about it a lot and compute a lot and figure out like what I need to do to get there,
Yeah.
instead of this.
Judging the whole way.
Yeah. Instead of that, like as we called this live, the ongoing exploration of business, which is also really the ongoing exploration of choice, of, okay, I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to see what awareness I have from there and what that creates. That's going to give me more information. And, one of the tools we use is, what three things can I put my attention on today to grow my business right away? And that is where you have that sense of the now and the future. You're looking at the future. What is the future I would like to create? And but not from a goal and a computation. Just, you get the energy of it, and then each day there's going to be things that may or may not make any sense, and they also may or may not seem to have anything to do with your business, that when you choose them, then you set in motion all these energies that you can't set in motion with your mind. You have to choose and create the energy and the awareness.
It's just like it's a paradigm shift to go from judging yourself toward a result versus exploring the energetics, following the nudges, allowing all of your choices to contribute to your business. Everything is the business of your life, but that's a subject that might take days to explore.
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, we were so trained to have all these different results and different parts of our life. This is my relationship, this is my business, this is my career, this is my dream, and all of them had results, and we have to judge our way to them, and that's not actually a reality at all. And
Yeah.
it is beautiful. You call it a masterclass of creation, because I could just cry my eyes out in gratitude for all of the years of learning from the Access tools and from Gary and Dane, and being with such wonderful friends, and how we all teach each other and grow up together out of that false way. That doesn't allow us to actually create. That just allows us to try to force a result, which in a way is creation. But to really have the gratitude that every moment is you creating your life, and that your business and your family and your money flows and your physical health and all the things are those choices of creation of your life. And so in 2 months since our last class, and I've had this class with you another time before and going to do it again, it's not something that you learn once and you're like, oh, I've got these tools. It's like something you keep. It's sort of like giving yourself more sunlight if you live in a rainy place. Like you want to go to these conversations to remind you to like sway and drift toward the more unfamiliar tools of creation. And
Yeah.
so since your last class, as much as I know a lot of those subjects, to get to stop thinking and just listen to you and the energetics of the room and allow the energetics of my entire life, especially we did the class in my home.
Yeah.
And our homes are part of the creation of our business. It's a symphony session on all the molecules of what is actually creating my future, what is nullifying or neutral and not moving anything, what can I let go of, um, who can I let go of, and it doesn't have to mean anything. Like sometimes we'll just stew and think because we're not willing to make a dynamic shift in who we're working with or who works for us, or let go of a job that isn't feeding you, go for the thing that you've been dreaming about. And it's these classes where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna just go for it. And it's one of the specialty classes I get. It needs its own isolated time to
Yeah.
cook
Yeah.
against our linear way of thinking. We create money and we create family and we create anything. Like I needed a solid 3 days of boiling off stuff that I really still think might work. And that class was so much beauty. There was so much beauty and silence and allowance for us to be in question rather than pumping a new answer.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
so I'm just so excited to see what this next class creates, because you're doing it differently, right? This one we're doing over, not in an intensive 3 days, which is going to be really cool. Sorry, I have a hair
Yeah.
like in my eyeball.
This one is gonna be over 10 weeks actually. So very different format. We have Business Done Different happens as a 3-day class and also as a program. Um, and um, and when we do it as a program, it's such a different energy. It's it's one call a week for 10 weeks and for an hour and a half.
Mm.
And we still have this incredible manual that is so full of the most amazing tools and conversations. So you have time to like read it and dive into it and absorb it and go like, have a conversation, go away, have a week of creating your life and your business, come back, bring more questions. And so it's this like ongoing exploration of business,
I have
over and
my
over.
manual right here. It's on my desk all the time, by the way. Look at how, I mean, 10 weeks, because 3 days you're like, whoa. But I'm like, okay, there are some subjects I need a whole week to sit on.
It's so true. Because it really is such an like I think so much of access consciousness, any class, any of the tools, there's so much unlearning that has to happen, and of like mental masturbation and how we think things need to be done, and
You mean it doesn't work? Oh,
I mean, it's
man.
kind of like, look at where things are like anybody, and even those of us that have been using the tools for a long time and creating and seeing a lot of miraculousness, it's like still anywhere that, it's like you can look and just say, okay, has like what you've been doing so far has created what you have. So if you have been functioning a lot from your mind and you're not also really thrilled with your business and your life, and or you just know maybe you are thrilled but there's so much more.
Yeah.
It's like the more you let go of the thinking and the computing and the judging and like structure, and the more you allow yourself to swirl into that space of more chaos, more questions, more being, more receiving, more relaxation. That's an evolution, also an ongoing exploration of business and creation that takes time. It can't be sped up. And amazingly, you can also have where 2 years worth of change happens in 2 months
Yes.
if you really choose to relax into the tools and use them. But it's just such a different way of functioning.
It is. It's like, and I just love because an intensive class, you're gonna have, you'll have all of that change. But I'm so excited. I mean, to any like this, no matter where to begin, it doesn't matter where. Start anywhere and keep going is what I like to say a lot. But I'm like, wow, I know how much I've changed my life with these tools, and then it's like what's possible for me from who I am today. Even since 2 months, I'm like, oh my gosh, what I'm capable of, what I'm willing to be with, um, kind of swirling into more of that acoustic space with the awareness of the entirety of my life, like, uh, and not just for me, but how my life can be a gift to the world around me, and coming free of all those ideas that we're trying to like build a little survival raft and have a business with some money and a safe little family, and and really get to be in the world. Every single class, this class, every conversation, whether it's 10 weeks or 3 days, they just, yeah, we just get to keep dropping and relaxing into actually getting to be here. So I can't wait. Oh my God. When I think of like 10 weeks, and we start next week, right?
Yeah, on Wednesday, the 28th of May. Yeah. Yeah.
So like getting to start again now. Wow. Like I just am realizing how I have a completely new business. Like I literally changed everything since then. So for me personally, I'm like all of the questions now apply to a new business. I'm in a completely new space in my relationship. I'm in a new space financially. Everything requires the whole conversation again. And so I'm just like, yeah, we there's a joy in the this is a long winding response to what you just said, but there's such a joy in like continually receiving, like continually returning to these conversations, not because they're going to be the same, but because they're always slightly different, and that it takes time, and we get to allow the business classes to also be like a slow feeding, a slow intensive feeding, and a fast sometimes intensive feeding.
Yeah.
um it's like a water hole. Like we gotta like just it's part of it's part of the creation of my business is to continually take the class, to continually go back to those questions. And it's very easy, like as opposed to other specialty classes or foundation classes, all amazing and access, but it's very easy for me to want to kind of not ask my business questions,
Hmm.
not look at my business as valuable to me as other parts of my life. And so this always like gets me to care about my business is such a gift to me. I actually do adore creating business, and what my business creates in the world is beautiful. But that old mental masturbation that thinks it's supposed to be better than it is, or it judges it, I'll avoid being in these questions with my business if I don't choose these classes, which is like, at least now I know. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to choose them.
Yeah. Well,
Heather, when's
and
your next class?
exactly. And we like, I know for me, I don't always, we don't know what questions we're not asking until we know what questions we're not asking, you know? And so it's like being in the ongoing conversation of creation is one of the most valuable things in my life. And I mean, every time I facilitate a business to a different class, I have my business explodes and expands in such a different way,
Yeah.
because it's just a new space to be looking from, you know, and I love that. You know, I facilitate these classes, and then I do this 6 month generative business pods program, which is really, I created it 10 years ago or 11 years ago for that exact purpose, like to be in this, again, ongoing exploration of business where it's like, because if your business is your life and your life is your business, it's every single day you're in business, you know, and business gets such a bad rap in our world because everybody thinks you have to stress about it, work your ass off, give yourself up
Mhm.
for it. You become a slave to your business. This is 180 degrees, going, like, looking from the perspective of, hey, what if business was actually about receiving? What if your business was actually here to contribute to you? What if business was the creation of the most beautiful life and living that you can imagine? And here's some very pragmatic, applicable, energetic tools for the weirdos of the world who know something is different, and so it can be, and that's the joy of business. Like, it's freaking fun to wake up every morning and be like, there's so many things I want to create. What's there to explore today?
Yeah, and God, I love, even just as we're having this conversation, it's already starting to melt something, because it's like it with anything in our lives, like if we start getting like kind of head crunchy about it and it's feeling stuck, we will innately start to think we're not doing something right. So then we start to go into this, big Mobius strip that doesn't lead to anything about what's wrong with us, rather than asking a real question. And so I know there were times, like for me with business, where I'd gotten into some kind of rigidity or projection of what I think it should do or ought to do. And I was avoiding those questions. I wasn't aware of the questions. So somebody who's like, yay, what can I create, would just like trigger me. I would be like, grrr, and I don't have that as much anymore, which is the gift of the class. But to
Yeah.
anybody out there who's having that, like, I know that I made certain roadblocks so real,
Yeah.
where I wasn't willing to be wrong or fail or lose, and know that that too could be fun and could create greater. And so that brings me back to the freedom to trust me with short term and long term. And a lot of the long term awarenesses that I had in business weren't congruent to what I thought I should do in the short term. And so I lost trust in me. And that's what makes us kind of like in the about the happy creative people is when maybe you've lost trust in, like, wow, this might look like I'm creating a train wreck right here, but it's actually going to change everything there. And or maybe this choice is awesome, but it's going to redirect this. And you relax into this trust, that is such a big subject. It was sort of like all of Access gave me this, but in particular with business, to trust me in business has been the greatest gift I've given myself as an adult, because I could trust myself with, like, caring for others, with I know how to love things, I know how to nurture things, but I wasn't willing to look at that in business. I
Mm.
doubted me with money. I doubted me with how I know how to I do things differently. And if I trusted me with this reality, and modern people are going to think that I'm some lunatic with money. And every time I've trusted myself, no matter what it looked like, I've generated money with ease and relaxation for my body.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is like a universe that we could
Yeah.
extrapolate on for a very long time. And we will in the
Yeah.
Business No Different class. um, yeah, there's so much to say and explore with that. And I guess it's kind of, for me, a lot of it is my own process has been, okay, I started with so many judgments about business, and so many judgments about me being shitty with business, shitty with money, not knowing how to do it. But I wanted to have a business because I didn't want to work for somebody, and I wanted to be, a healer and a therapist and all the things. I liked the idea of that. So in the beginning for me, I started as an entrepreneur in 1997. So this has
Mm.
been, almost 30 years of exploring this world. And for the first half of it, until I found the tools of Joy of Business and Access, it was like, I have to do this fucking business thing in order to do what I want to do in the world. Ugh, you know,
Yep. Me
and
too.
and I suck at it, so I need people to tell me what to do, and I'll do it even though I don't really want to do it, but I'll still do it.
Yep.
And then, but when I found the tools of access and this invitation, these conversations and the whole world of Joy of Business, I was like, that so matches what I know is possible.
Yeah.
I thought I was crazy for knowing that that was possible, but I always had this sense of like, shouldn't I just be able to be more, be greater, like, and have more people in my world, more clients, more everything, and like have things just grow organically from that space. And, you know, the world will tell you that you're insane if that's your awareness, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
I finally started to lean into everything I was learning in Joy of Business, everything I was unlearning as well.
Yeah.
And to trust me. And I've seen I made a video about this that I think will go live today on YouTube, but it's like, I'm looking back over the past, I don't know however many years it's been, 15, 13 years of using these tools. And I'm like, wow, the life that I asked for way back then, it's here now. Like, and it's not, I haven't arrived, you know. I do continue the ongoing exploration of business and asking for more. And, you know, and I can see like there's relaxation, there's ease, there's fun, there's joy, there's beauty, there's living. When I'm hiking, I'm doing business. When I'm sleeping, I'm doing business. You know, I'm like my business is my life, and the money flows. Like money is really a byproduct of creation and joy and relaxation and choice and living, you know, and creating a greater future. And it takes time to cultivate that. There's a lot of letting go along the way. There's a lot of moments of like, oh my gosh, there's more. And then there's even more. And then there's even more. And then there's even more, you know?
That's the
So
best part.
yeah, yeah. So
I
it's so cool. I'm so grateful to get to explore this continuously, you know, because there's no limit to where we can go with it.
I can't, I just like everything you just said, I just got so clearly, so succinctly that I arrived in this life as a dreamer, healer, artist, musician, facilitator, like here to change the world. But I really believed the lie that the only way I could do that was at the sacrifice of financial success.
Hmm.
Like so I'm not really wanting to do that thing called business. I can do all these things. So I'll take the sacrifice of less money. I'll take the sacrifice of not being a business lady. I'll just be all these things. And that's the biggest lie, that this is all dissolved and will continue to dissolve, because and it's just not a reality. And if you have whatever your particular, you know, niche is, or your desire or your dream, it's like attached to that is abundance in totality. And you get like, these tools allow us to stand in that and trust ourselves. And one of the things that aggravated me the most was that I always knew I was sensible and aware, and had a knowing that I was disregarding. So it wasn't that I was so angry or stuck about the fact that I wasn't enjoying money. It was the lie that couldn't trust me moving all those energies, and that if I
Yeah.
can be all these things, why wouldn't, you know, the abundance of the joy of business be part of it? But it's just not talked about until it is. And so to
Yeah.
talk about it,
Yeah.
and I'm already have questions for our first call next week. Like I can't wait, because I know I came here to be a leader. And if you're gonna, I know for myself, I was a wimp with money until I wasn't. And like, I wasn't willing to lose, and I wasn't willing to choose. I was pretending to be timid while knowing I was strong. And anywhere that I still have that, like, wow, I'm so much more than I used to be. But if I can choose what I've chosen the last 10 years, wow, what's the next 10 years going to look like? Wow. It gets
Yeah.
really exciting.
It's exponential, you know, it really is exponential. So it's getting very exciting around here, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, you and I get to hang out in Italy soon, and you know,
Yeah.
our lives are beautiful, and they're only going to get more beautiful, and everyone deserves that and can choose that.
Yeah.
There isn't
Totally.
anybody who can't apply the tools. That's the thing. It's like it's not like anybody who has that desire to tap into the tools, like, you can add so much more beauty and yumminess and abundance. They all really are so cohesive.
Yeah.
Mm.
So cool. Awesome. Well, I have a meeting, a
Yep.
Joy Business meeting, so need to run, but this is so awesome and I'm just so looking forward to more. And so we start next week. Business Done Different is a 10-week online program, 1.5-hour Zoom call per week for 10 weeks with an incredible manual. And you're all invited to come and join us. It's the link is heathernichols.com/BDD online. And yeah, what else is possible? Thank you so much, Desi.
Thank you, Heather. I can't wait.
I know. Talk soon. Bye, everybody.